Hello guys, and I am Beverly Rimmer and I'm a quantum wellness strategist, and we are already in the Lionsgate portal. Lionsgate opened on the 24th of July and it will remain open until the 12th of August, and it is a once a year event. And if you haven't seen me talking already on social media about this huge event, then you need to go and do some searching. It's absolutely the biggest game changer I've ever experienced, and I'm a biohacker and I've been doing it for a very long time, so I can tell you now, heads up guys, this is a real game changer. Now, I'm like you, I flick and scroll through social media and we can see get rich quick and get healthy now and do this, do that in 3 days, and it's all full of bullshit really, isn't it? I come from a background of energy, frequency and vibration. I work in health, I work in wellness, and I work in quantum physics. That's what I do for a living. And I have been tapping into the quantum leap for my own evolution that Lionsgate gives me every year for 20 years. This is my 21st Lionsgate. And I am telling you now, hands down, biggest biohack for health, for wealth, for happiness, for relationships, for success, and for life. All right, hands down. If you don't come on Lionsgate for those reasons, then I don't know what you're doing. Every single one of us needs this event. Honestly, freedom is such. We used to take freedom for granted, and our freedoms have been so compromised. Increasingly so, year by year by year by year. And the last few years, since the pandemic, we've got a lot less freedoms than we had before, and we've become a lot more disempowered. And so last year was the first time I actually opened Lionsgate, my own personal journey, to my clients, family and friends, because they asked me to. I think it was needed. And I was really kind of reticent to do so because it was my private space that I own for these 8 days every year. And it was magical. Honestly, I saw people's lives transform, and it was joyful for me. I was so grateful, honestly, beyond grateful that I opened it up. And we're opening it up this year. And I'll put the link in this video. If you can't find it, then go to beverlyrimmer.com and it will be there. And you can, find the link on all of my socials. Lionsgate was something I came across 21 years ago when I was very, very sick. And, you don't really think about what you've got, house-wise, money-wise, when you're really sick. You just know that you're not healthy. And so for me, I was doing everything, I was eating the right food, I was doing all of the movement, I was, drinking bone broth like there was no tomorrow, juicing, Gerson therapy, I was doing all of that. And yes, it was all having, small impact in a positive way, but it wasn't taking me where I needed to go. It just wasn't taking me there. And, an amazing homeopath mentioned Lionsgate to me, and I had never heard of it before. And so there wasn't the internet out then, you couldn't go and do a bit of research on it. So I went to the library, good old-fashioned library, sat down and started going through the pages. And what happens, this astrological event has been transforming lives for thousands of years. It shows up on the 8th of August every year. The portal itself, it's an astrological event. So the portal itself opens on the 24th of July and it closes on the 12th of August. The peak of Lionsgate is the 8th. So why is it so important? Why is that relevant? Why is it relevant to my health? And one of the things that I discovered was, from an astrological perspective, we get these frequencies coming down. They're like meteorites, but they're not meteorites, the frequencies. And these frequencies are coming down, and all of humanity can absorb them should they wish. Unfortunately, the catch is like attracts like in this universe, and so if you're vibrating at a low frequency, then how the hell is your body going to receive high frequency, which is coming down from, you know, the cosmos, the universe? How can we? And so most of humanity don't. You know, most of humanity don't absorb these incredible frequencies. We call them ascension activation codes. They change slightly every year. We have to be aligned in order to be able to absorb them. That was, you know, my first lesson in benefiting from Lionsgate. You know, how do I get aligned? And this also paired up with the fact, you know, I heard the word chakra for the first time. What the fuck is a chakra? You know, and where do I buy them from? And, you know, this homeopath said to me, no, they're inside of you, you know, and you need to detox them. You need to nourish them, you need to balance them, you need to align them. You've got to do all of this work before the 8th even arrives, you know. So your frequency is much higher. Specifically in my case, you know, 21 years ago, because I had cancer, which is extremely low frequency. And so, you know, I had to do a lot of work to raise my frequency, to have a hope in hell, you know, absorbing these amazing ascension activation codes. And then, as you know, I went through it, and by insanity, my life started to change straight away, you know, and money, that was the first thing that flew in. That money enabled me to do more for my health. All of a sudden, you know, I was creating a different life for myself. Different people, places, events, because I changed my frequency. The people that were aligned with my frequency before, they kind of vanished, and these new people were attracted in, and those people came with information. Honestly, people, places, and events shifted instantly as I started to attract a whole different, you know, set of circumstances, which brought me to a cancer-free perspective. Not just that, my depression went. And I was like, well, if I can do it for this, can I do it for my dyslexia? Because that's a pain in the ass. You know? And if I can do it for that, can I do it for stretch marks? And if I can do it for that, can I do it for this? And can I do it? And you know what? Like, it was, I don't know, I think the 6th year into Lionsgate. And I was like, you know, I pretty much have everything, you know, that I want in my life. Only I'm single, but I'm single because I'm shit at relationships. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I can manifest not being shit. Maybe I can manifest a soulmate. Maybe this year in Lionsgate I can take a quantum leap into that frequency. And honestly, that was in August of 2007, and by December 2007, you know, Mr. Kevin Patrick McGowan, my soulmate, appeared in my life, and you know, we have been together ever since, and it's like magic. You know, how do I, you know, in Liverpool meet somebody, you know, from Scotland? We're in different waves of life, different industries, you know. I have no doubt why he came into my life. And again, you know, teaching other people how to do this. So the Lionsgate, you know, after then, we manifested great things. You know, Kevin was he's a big Beatles fan and a great musician, and he was front stage at the Cavern in Liverpool from nowhere. You know, from nowhere. And then that led to, you know, Kevin's next big wish was to play Beatles and his own music on Hollywood Boulevard. And there he is, you know, in August 2008. And it's just like, where's the magic? And then while we were there, we were like, you know, it'd be really good to open an arm of the business in Egypt. We come back to England, and there it is. I've got, you know, twins with autism in Egypt, in Sharm, that need us to go there and stay in a 5-star hotel. The Hyatt, and yeah, it just goes on this roll, you know, and you're happy and you're healthy, and this energy is just pouring down, you know, and that was just 2007 to 2008. You know, it's like every year of our life something happens. And you know, in 2009 we had really hard time, a lot of not good things happened. My sister died very suddenly, and it was a huge shock, trauma. And I went, you know, inside myself, and you know, that Lionsgate was incredibly difficult, you know, and I needed to pull myself together, and we needed a new start, and we created a new life, you know, for ourselves. We decided that's what we wanted. We wanted to come here, you know, to this island in the middle of the Mediterranean. We wanted to live in this extraordinary house, which is, you know, very high frequency, the ground it's built on here. I have Santa Verna, you know, behind me, which is the original Gigantia, which is older than the pyramids. I have this amazing, you know, pool in my back garden. I have this amazing view of Salvatore and Mosselthorne Bay and the sea. We have met the most extraordinary people, and we have been welcomed by them on this island, and I am truly, truly blessed. Honestly, you know, everyone kept saying to me, British people, you know, you can't open a business here. British people, you know, it's not going to work for you. And I was like, fuck that, I've got Lionsgate, I'm taking a quantum leap here. Yeah. And I have had clinic in the Radisson, in St. George's Bay, I've had clinic in Valletta, I have had clinic in the most beautiful places, truly beautiful places, that are just supposedly not supposed to happen. But they happen to me. Why do they happen to me? Am I incredibly lucky? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think that I work on owning my power, and Lionsgate jumpstarts that power, and I work on it every day of the year. You know, I invest an hour and a half, 2 hours every day in bringing to life what I instigate, this domino effect that I kick off in Lionsgate every year. And I feel incredibly blessed to know this knowledge and to have this knowledge and be able to share it, you know, with other people, especially now. You know, I go back to England and everybody is like stressed about money. Not like before. I mean, when I was raising kids as a single parent, 3 kids on my own, obviously everybody worries about money. But this is a whole different ballgame. You know, people can't pay their gas or electricity. It's shit. And really, really difficult. And you go to, you know, Tesco and there's fuck all on the shelf. Why? I don't know. You know, is it because people can't afford to buy it, or because they just can't bring it into the country? You know, it's just really odd. And so I think people need to get rid of that fear of lack, that fear of scarcity, that I don't have enough, you know. Because guys, you know, if you stay in that frequency, that's going to attract more things that will continually give you not enough, continually give you scarcity. If you continue worrying about illness, sickness, that's going to put you in a frequency that you're going to attract more things to worry about sickness. You know, so the first 7 days of Lionsgate, as was taught to me a very long time ago, is all about detoxification. It's all about clearing that shit, getting rid of trauma. And we have got some seriously unresolved trauma and resentments, you know, buried deep inside. All of them coming with a really low frequency tag. A lot of us have got methyl tags inside of our own biology, toxin tags, you know. Again, very low frequency, EMFs, 5G, Wi-Fi, fuck. I mean, it's never ending. I could go on just about toxic methyl tags all day. You know, they've got to go, because if you don't get rid of all of these low frequency things from inside of you, from your organs, your tissue, your energy field, your chakras, you know, if you don't get rid of them, then your frequency isn't going to be of the right elevation for these activation ascension codes to get inside of you, so you can start using the magic and bringing your energy frequency and vibration very, very high, very quickly on the 8th of August, and having the next 12 months, you know, to really play with this, you know, really get into the creative zone, you know, own your goddamn power and really use that freedom it brings, because it's going to release some serious inner wisdom. You know, the first thing I realized was it's getting this kind of like thought at the back of my head, you know, who I really am, and why I'm here, like a vague memory. And this it started to redefine me. You know, the things that mattered to me before no longer mattered to me. You know, being earthed. I mean, if anyone had said to me 25 years ago, "You grounded, Beverly?" I'd be like, "What the fuck?" Of course I'm grounded. You know, and understanding about my own space and my own energy field, and you know how I can control that. Subconscious mind, 90% of everything that happens to us in our life comes from our subconscious mind, which we are not aware of. Only 10% comes from the conscious mind. You know, I'm a control freak. I don't like those ratios. I want to know what's going on in my subconscious mind. And if what's showing up in my life is based on trauma I've not got rid of, or resentments I'm carrying, you know, or whatever, I want it gone. I want to know about it. I want a solution for it, and I want it gone, because I want to show up every day as my most authentic self. I want alignment. I want the things that I think about in my head, that I dream about, that I get excited about. I want them happening in my life. I don't just want them in here. I want them around me. I want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because the bloody temperature is 37 degrees. Walk out of my bedroom and walk in this pool. That's what I want to do. This is what I want. This is my desire. You know, I want to wake up next to my soulmate every day. I want to be able to put my feet in sand and it's 5 minutes away. These are the things that I want. I want to be able to help people. You know, I want to be able to help them transform their lives like I've transformed mine. I want to teach them about prevention, because nobody wants to be bloody sick, do they? You know, so much easier to prevent it than to treat it and remove, you know, sickness from the body. And so that's what I do. And Lionsgate has not only enabled me to do that, it takes me on a massive quantum leap every single year. All right, it shows me, it's like a vision quest, you know, like ancient tribal people used to do. They go into this lucid state, and all of a sudden you can see visions, you can see your future, and you've got A or B, you know, and you can choose. And when you start to tap into the activation ascension codes, that's what happens. You see these visions, these colors. Last year, you know, so many of the people that joined me on Lionsgate, and they talk about it in the testimonials, they saw colors, they heard voices, they saw lights, you know, they had this knowing inside, this incredible feeling of empowerment. They changed their lives, and they did it in 8 days. All right, and so we are kicking off on the 1st of August, and I'm so excited because this year, for the first time, I'm actually going to be the food. I'm big on food. The food I'm going to be putting out there, the recipes for this Lionsgate are all about chakras, and to my knowledge, nobody's ever done this in the world before, because I test frequency for a living, and I know the exact frequency of each chakra. And I know the frequency of foods, and I know the frequency when you combine certain foods in a certain way. I have put together a recipe book that nourishes each individual chakra. So for example, if you've got a thyroid issue, then there is something going on with your throat chakra. If you've got a metabolic issue, there's something going on with your throat chakra. The same with diabetes, any endocrine issue at all, hormonal endocrine, there's something going on here. So makes sense, doesn't it? You know, if this energy wheel, this throat chakra is blocked, not working, we want to really nourish that, heal it, bring it back to life. And when it gets its power back, then it starts to do its job, which is to keep this area of your body healthy and optimized. No? And so, yeah, knowing what foods to have, getting access to this recipe book, which has taken me 7 years, 7 years to create, you know, this is some amazing stuff that you can keep, you know, in your kitchen, and, you know, have your own alchemical kitchen at home, have your own home pharmacy going on in your kitchen. You know, if somebody's got a headache, you know, what's the third eye, crown chakra food, what can I give them for that? You know, if somebody's got PCOS, what's the sacral chakra, you know, food for that? This is amazing stuff. And to my knowledge, I've checked online, nobody else has ever done this before. And so that's part of this Lionsgate. We're going to be doing that every day for 7 days. I'm going to be teaching you all about chakras, one a day. We're going to be releasing trauma, and we're also going to be including some seriously ancient rituals, fire rituals as well, and some modern quantum physics, because I'm going to be putting everybody into quantum collective biofeedback and downloading this year's activation ascension codes. This is just so good. Oh, thank you, Charlotte. That's really nice. That's really nice of you to say. You know, so anybody that's got anything, anything at all that you want to improve on, anything, you know, And I think we all do, you know, otherwise what are we, hamsters on wheels? This is definitely the time to do it. I mean, it's a quantum leap. Honestly, it would generally take people a lifetime to achieve the achievements I have achieved in weeks after Lionsgate. I'm not exaggerating, honestly. Within 6 weeks of Lionsgate in 2009, we had seen the house, you know, moved from a house in a town outside of Liverpool to this, you know, incredible castle-like house on an island in the Mediterranean. And everything, we were not rich, we did not have, you know, a shit ton of money, we did not have a fairy godmother. Everything we needed, the people, the places, the events, every single thing lined itself up in perfect synchronicity to get us and this house connected. And that's what happened. And that is how Lionsgate works. It just is, you know. I remember in 1998, yeah, I went into hospital because I was pregnant and my pelvis had broken, and I hadn't been in hospital for a long time, and I was 6 months pregnant, and you know, the last time anyone had looked at my medical notes, they saw that I had you know, quite a rare form of cancer. And no treatment had been offered, therefore no treatment had been given. And fast forward, you know, 3.5 years on, here I am, and they pull my file, and they're doing all these scans and tests, and they couldn't find it. It had vanished. It had gone. You know why? Because I eliminated it from my life, because I haven't got time for that shit. All right? I haven't got time for the fear factor. I haven't got time for any of that. I've got a life to create. I've got a life to live. I had a baby to bring into this world. I had things to do, you know. And so that's what happens when you start getting into the creative process. When you start to tap into your power, this inner wisdom through ascension is released, and it reminds you who you are and why you're here. Right? And we are not here to be in pain and suffering. We are not here to be in a constant state of disempowerment. We are not here to feel shit. We are not here to work ourselves into an early grave until we get, you know, to the point of retirement and start losing our faculties. That is not why we're here at all. We are here to love. We are here to feel loved. We are here to share our life, our happiness, our joy, our bliss, you know, with our family. That's why we're here. And somewhere down the line, fear has stepped in. You know, everyone's got on this treadmill, and we've forgotten who we are and why we're here. And so Lionsgate really, for me, put me in a space where that was like, you know, defibrillated into me. This is who you are. This is why you're here. Because I was working, you know, intense amount of hours at that time, and I never had time for anything. You know, I wasn't well. I didn't have my health, I didn't have time, I wasn't spending time with my kids. You know, the bank account was always empty, and fear of the now, fear of the future, fear. And so to remember who you are and why you're here, and have this innate knowing inside, just raises that frequency up. And to do it over Lionsgate means that you are in the right state to absorb these acceleration codes, because that's what they are. They will get you where you want to be quicker, faster, easier than you could ever imagine. All right. So if you would like to join me this Lionsgate, we start on the 1st. So you've got till the 31st to register. And I would love, absolutely love to have you guys with me during that time. In the meantime, I want to say goodbye, good night. I will be on again tomorrow because I have a date. It is date night, and I'm going on a date. Because yeah, you still get to do that when you're creating your own health, wealth, happiness, joy, and bliss. You still get to go on date nights in your 50s. So I'm going on a date night. And so I wish you all a wonderful Friday. And I look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow. I'm going to go live at 10:30 my time, which is 9:30 UK time in the morning, which will be interesting. And so I will answer any questions anybody has in the meantime. Have a think about it, guys. Have a think about it. Real freedom, it's there. You just need to know how to access it. Ciao, ciao for now. Bye-bye.